Well, what is going on, and welcome back to SDS. We're going to be looking at a practical drum fill today that you can learn and by the end of the day start using in a variety of situations. But first, I want to get the question of the lesson out of the way, and that is, what type of snare drum are you using right now? A lot of times I'll buy a drum set and I'll put a completely different, even a different brand snare drum with that drum set because of the sound of the snare. So I want to know what snare drum you're using right now. Put that in the comment section below and let's start a conversation about it. A practical drum fill to me is something that I can take out and use in a variety of situations, as well as it's memorable. It's memorable to the listener and it's memorable to me as a player. I like to keep a certain number of those in my bag because here in Nashville, you never know whenever you're going to play for your first time with an artist. Maybe you're sitting in with a group for the first time, you've never played with them. Maybe you're trying to run a rehearsal and you've got to worry about segues and what the guitar player is doing. So I need a couple of things that until the music is learned and in my memory that I can go to as backup as I'm in the learning process, and this is one of those. So I call it the stutter step. Why do I call it the stutter step? Because it reminds me of whenever, you know how when you walk in and all of a sudden you trip just a little bit? That's, to me that's a stutter step. And so this reminds me of that. You're actually going to get a 2-for-1 in this lesson. I'm going to teach it in 2.5 beats, and then I'm going to teach it in a longer 1-bar format. So let's start with the 2.5 beat format. For the shorter portion of the fill, we're going to start on the upbeat of 2. So 1 and 2, and we're going to play 2 16th notes. So 2 E and 2 E and and on the snare drum, on the high tom. Then we're going to rest 1 16th note, so the downbeat of 3 will rest. Then we'll play that pattern, but we're going to reverse its voicing and sticking. And so instead of being right left, it will now be left right. So 2 E and 3 E and. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4. So now you've got over half of the shorter version of this fill learned. The next thing we're going to do is straight 16th notes, and we're going to start on the of 3 with our kick drum. So 3 E and then 4 E and around the toms. 4 on the snare drum, E on the high tom, and on the floor tom. 3 E and 3 E and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 E. 1 and 2 E. That's the shorter version of this fill. To make the fill a full measure, what we'll do is actually repeat those first 2 stickings that we have. So now we'll start on the downbeat of 1 and we're going to play those first 2 stickings. So instead it's going to be 1 E, then rest the and, 1 E and 2, then we'll rest the E of 2. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and on the kick drum, 4 E and . And that's a fill that I've regularly used over the years that I call the stutter step. Simple and effective. Now if you like this one, we have several videos in the members area on fills, grooves that are just like this, that are applicable, that you can pull on and use in a variety of situations. If you haven't watched the new tour video of the members area on the website, you should do that. You can do that in the link below this. And if not, We'll see you in the next lesson.